Hey guys, my first video on my Kenmore washer 72 account. You can just like search that up or something, or look it up in my subscriptions or whatever, you know. Just search Kenmore washer 72. There's no spaces in the account, just so you know. So I still haven't deleted those videos yet, but I will get to that probably before I upload this. Anyway, I'm gonna explain about how washers work and how to troubleshoot them and what to do on that. So, and I'm actually gonna also make videos and talk about how to use them correctly. So, for this first video, to start off, I'm gonna explain how washers work. Okay, I got a different kind of model here. This is, a lot of models will vary between, you know, the brands and, you know, all the model numbers and stuff. And so this model actually doesn't say it on there, but in fact there's clothes in there, excuse that. So first, what we're going to start off is with how they actually run and how the faucets are, you know, how it fills. Actually, we're going to start with that cycle first. But right now, we're going to look at, you're just going to, you don't have to do this like right now, but just take a look at your model. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually just for the dryer, but I'm not sure. LT 7000 7000 X VWO. That's what the model number is. The serial number is MA2 408370. As you can see right there. Serial, no, that stands for number. So stock number is LT7000 or LT7000V. I guess whatever you want to call it. So here's the dryer, by the way. And yeah, there are car noises up down the road there, but anyway, let's start with the washing machine first. Basically, the tragic of these, how they work, is basically they would plug, most models, most top-loading models, just the standard regular models, would basically have a plug for the washer and a plug for the dryer. But with all stackable units like this one, they would use the dryer plug. The dog bowl. Dog food bags in a way. Excuse that. The dryer plug, they would use a dryer plug and plugs into, this one's actually a gray. If I can get back here and check. Most cords will vary depending on the model. You can also even buy another cord for this if your old cord is worn out or something. This is a gray 3-prong. And it plugs in upside down, just like that. Occasionally there is an outlet up here, but I don't know why there is, because this house, actually, we had to get rid of the Kenmore because this wall wouldn't fit, or both the washer and dryer wouldn't fit in between, because the washing machine was about It was about a little long. It was about a little wider. The Kenmore 500 machine series. It was a little wider than this machine. So you try to fit this in between the wall and the dryer, it's not going to fit because they were both about the same size, because they were both 500 series washer and dryers, and same brand, kind of the same model too. And basically where we had it sitting at was right here on this wall. It was basically on the opposite wall of the washing machine. Some guy had commented on one of my videos about where he was wondering where the Kenmore machine was, and I told him, oh, it was sitting up here, and then we kind of had to move it over there because we thought we could use it, but then this machine was sitting over here, so basically we had to switch up back then. So anyway, first off, don't want to waste much time anymore. So anyway, first off, let's start with how the machine works on fill. So basically, first off, you would push the timer knob in. I'm not going to do it because the clothes are already done and I don't want them getting wet. You would push it in, select it to the desired cycle, put on gentle, permanent press, and regular. Doesn't matter what time you put it on. Just enough time to wash it, depending on how dirty it is. So basically you would pull it out, and these hoses back there, try to scooch in back here again. These hoses, see those? They hook onto the water faucets, and those knobs, you turn them at a certain way. I think it depends on what kind of valve you had. Depends on which way you turn it. So basically water would travel through that hose, and I don't know. Oh, they're actually right here. The water hoses connect to this side, and the drain hose connects to that side. So it's kind of an angle kind of thing, you know. So this is the hot water valve, and this is the cold water valve. And basically it would travel through the hose and go into the water valve, which the valve inside there opens. I'm doing this video for people who actually have questions on how washing machines work and how to use them, so that's what I'm doing this for. I'm not doing this necessarily for people who already know how to wash their items, but for people who do need to know. So anyway, basically the water valve opens, and it travels through a hose, another hose. Actually, it sucks I don't have a light on this camera. Most models, they do. I don't know if you can see it up in there. You kind of can, actually. It's kind of... There we go. I can't really tell where the... Yeah, I think that's actually it. I'm not sure. But anyway, the water would travel through... Yeah, that is the hose. The water would travel through that hose from the valve, and it hooks into the back of the vacuum thing, the spout thing. And basically water would come down through here and spray down on the clothes, and that's how you get water in the tub. Basically, the water level selector has a hose. I'm actually not exactly sure if it has it well, I guess it has it long enough to. I guess they just have longer hoses. It would have the water level switch connects a hose, which is inside here. You can't see it because it's all covered up, which travels down. I'm not sure where it travels, but it travels down, and usually on most standard models they would connect to the side of the tub. It would basically connect to a bell housing that is sits on the side of the tub. Basically, it connects there, and when water is filling up the machine, there's air pressure in that hose. That's basically how it works. So, it would basically travel through, it would collect pressure, and as the pressure, when enough pressure is built up, the water valve is going to shut off, and the timer is going to start. The timer is going to have a click, or not the timer, but the water level. Turn on the light here so you can see better. The water level, you're going to hear a click, and it's going to excuse me, it's gonna shut off the valve, and then basically go ahead and turn the motor on, and on a counterclockwise direction to go ahead and agitate. So that was basically that, and also depending on what you set the water temperature and where you live. It depends on what the water pressure is. See, that's warm, cold. You set it to warm, cold, hot, and cold water. Well, I'm not sure if it's exactly how I'm explaining it, but I think it's hot and cold water come through each hoses, and that's how you get warm water. Where we live, the water pressure is actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. Fills up the tub pretty quick. My dad's washer actually fills the tub up like really fast. It actually, within like maybe 30 seconds or so on a small load, you fill it up, and then it would basically start agitating on that level. So on 30 seconds or so, I'm not exactly sure how long it is. So then the timer engages the motor, and the motor will turn on a, it will turn on a counterclockwise direction. How I'm pointing it is counterclockwise, but I guess we could do it this way. It will turn on a counterclockwise direction, and basically how the washer keeps the water from draining when it's agitating is basically the pump will have a propeller that's spinning counterclockwise and forcing the water to stay in the tub. That way, when it does that, there's enough force to push that water, there's enough power to push that water up and keep the water in the tub. And basically how the washer works is basically there's a motor, which is, I think is like the middle, it's in the middle, well, I guess not necessarily the middle of the tub, but it's the middle component because it's in between the pump, the water pump, and there's a transmission that it connects to. It's in between the water pump and the transmission. It's basically down here below the tub. And depending on older styles, pumps will look different and have different styles of plastic on them. So, and the motor will connect to the transmission by a motor, a piece called, they call the motor coupling. I'm not sure if you've seen my video of me taking apart that Kenmore 500 apart while it's on spin cycle. You probably did see those parts that it was underneath. That's the exact parts that's underneath this, because it is a direct drive. All direct drives, and that Kenmore 500 was a direct drive. Because you know why they call them direct driving? Because the motor directly drives the things without using like a belt, like the belt drives do. That's why they call them the belt drives, because they use a belt. The motor will actually directly drive the pump and the transmission. The gears and I'll get to that later. The motor coupler will turn the transmission, and the spin gear is